Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at a case where a state senator, essentially the person who makes laws, keyed a person's car in a parking lot and later denied all accusations. The senator was soon caught in his lies and taken to jail, but was treated very differently. On June 22, 2023, the Cranston Police Department received a 911 call regarding an SUV that was allegedly vandalized at a shopping center's parking lot. The vehicle's owner and passenger both stated that they had parked to go shop for some time, and upon returning to their vehicle, they heard a loud scratching noise, almost as if someone was keying it. They also added that they observed a male standing on the passenger side of his own vehicle walk away quickly while holding a keychain and gripping a single key. The passenger then observed a lengthy scratch on the side of the SUV that he was sure was not there before they parked. Soon after this, an officer arrived at the shopping center where he located a man who was matching the description provided by the driver and passenger.
How you doing, bud?
Hi.
I just need you to step out the truck for me, all right?
Sure.
You mind shutting it off? I'll explain to you when you get out here, okay? You want to come right back here for me? Five. I'm gonna have one male detained for right now. All right, listen. I have to detain you for right now. All right. I'm investigating a crime. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
If it's a maniac who yelled at me in the car next to me?
They weren't in the car next to you. There was no one in the car.
Yeah.
There was no one in the car.
He was blocking my way, saying I scratched his car. I didn't scratch his car. I'm a state senator. I think he recognized me. I think he's one of the gun nuts. He called out my name. I never told him my name.
All right. So, he didn't say any of that, okay?
Yeah,
he definitely didn't recognize you. I know he didn't say that.
Yeah.
So, all right. His car was keyed. It was freshly keyed.
Yeah.
All right. And that's what we're investigating right now.
Okay.
And seeing, he pretty much heard it and saw you.
Yeah.
And you had keys in your hand as well.
That's because I just came out of my car.
Well, that would make sense, but the way that he explained it seemed much a little bit more in depth than that, okay?
Yeah.
All right? He can hear it, like fresh. It was, he can hear the scratching, and he approached you and asked you. You kind of just walked away and kind of just blew him off.
because he called out my name.
Yeah, he didn't say he called out your name, but...
He called out my name, and I was worried that he was one of the gun nuts who stalked me at the State House, so I kept walking.
Well, yeah, I don't think he was that. He seemed a little young, you know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there, okay? Just for right now, just hang out a little bit, all right? I have a supervisor coming out here, okay?
I was scared, so I kept walking.
All right.
Yeah. And then I went over to Starbucks, had a drink, calmed down. I don't think you saw me walk in. And then I walked over to Whole Foods to get what I needed to get. And then I came back.
You walked all the way to Whole Foods?
Yeah, because I was afraid to come back to my car and he was still here.
Why didn't you call us?
It's a good question. I should have.
The male subject here is 69-year-old Joshua Miller, a state senator and Democrat who represents Cranston and Providence. As we've just seen, Mr. Miller completely denied all accusations and claimed that the SUV driver had referred to him by name, which made him feel threatened, assuming that the SUV driver was one of the stalkers who followed Mr. Miller around. Regardless, Mr. Miller was detained at this point and under investigation for the crime. Meanwhile, the officer on the scene had already called for his supervisor and was waiting before proceeding with anything. On top of this, the officer also phoned the driver of the SUV and asked him to come back to the parking lot so he could verify that Mr. Miller was indeed the suspect who they were looking for.
Hey William, how you doing? It's Officer Diaz. We spoke earlier. I took your call. Are you able to come back by any chance just to ID the gentleman that just said that you confronted? Is there any way I can have you come back to just ID the gentleman that you said keyed the car? Yeah. Are you nearby? Okay, no problem. We can't do that. We usually like for you to, just like show up and really really just point them out. Okay, that's fine. What would you say he's wearing? All right. No, it's all right. If you're colorblind, it's not gonna. I would definitely need you to see him.
Eventually, the SUV driver agreed to return so he could ID the suspect and confirm if Mr. Miller was the one who keyed his vehicle. Meanwhile, another officer responded to the scene, but for some reason, both of them muted their body cams and engaged in a conversation that we will never know about. Amidst this, a third officer also arrived on the scene.
He's coming right now. I just want to ask him one more thing. Hey, I'm sorry to call you again. You were the one that confronted him, right? All right. Did you, when you confronted him, did you recognize him at all? Do you know who he was before you knew who he was? You know what I mean? You didn't at all. You didn't recognize him or anything. Never seen him in your life before? Okay. All right. No problem. Okay. All right. And you guys are on the way? All right. Okay. All right.
After several minutes, the officers finally approached Mr. Miller again and explained the current situation to him. They told Mr. Miller that the victim was on his way back to the parking lot and that there were no charges against Mr. Miller at that point. But they also highlighted that the property they were on had a good amount of surveillance cameras, implying that the truth will eventually come to light, no matter what.
All right, sir. It's what's your last name again, sir?
Miller.
Miller. Mr.
Yeah.
Miller, sir. So this is what's going on right now, okay? We have the victim that's going to come down.
Yeah.
He's just going to identify that you were the gentleman that he spoke to about keying his car, okay?
Yep.
There's no charges yet. We're still investigating it, okay?
Yep.
We still have some...
There are cameras almost
Yeah.
down each and every row, so obviously we have to do our due diligence to make sure. So we're just going to detain you for a little longer until he comes down here. He's coming from Providence, so he should be here momentarily.
So Colonel Winquist knows that I was stalked by these guys.
Okay.
Because I'm the sponsor of assault weapons legislation.
Okay.
They actually patrolled my house.
Do you recognize this gentleman?
I thought he called my name, right?
Okay.
Because the sticker's on the back of my car. I thought he said, "Hey Miller, did you key my car?" Because I was concerned he was one of these guys, right, that stalked me, I kept walking.
Right. Okay. No, that's absolutely fine. I have no problem with what you did after that also.
Yeah.
Just so we can, again, do our due diligence.
Because some of these guys are armed, so I was really concerned.
I trust me. I completely understand your concern. So,
As seen in the footage, Mr. Miller continued to maintain his innocence by claiming that the SUV driver was a stalker and that he might have been armed, which apparently made Mr. Miller feel unsafe since he had political stickers on his truck. Also, he believed that the driver might have recognized him as a state senator and threatened him for that reason. Another detail to point out is that Mr. Miller claimed that Colonel Michael Winquist, the chief of police, was aware that the occupants of the SUV had been stalking Mr. Miller. However, police reports later revealed that such was not the case. Now watch as one of the officers requested Mr. Miller to provide them with his keys so they could inspect them as part of the investigation. Surprisingly, Mr. Miller complied and handed his keys over to the officers. They took some time to closely inspect the keys and eventually returned them to Mr. Miller without making any comments. Note how one of the officers took some extra time to really find any traces of paint, and it was almost as if he did notice something, but didn't say it out loud just yet.
we obviously have a job to do. We're just doing our due diligence.
Yeah.
Just so we can, like I said, so we can thoroughly investigate, is it possible just to see your keys so we can rule out the possibility if there's any paint transfer on your keys at all?
Yeah. Okay. We operated by a Christopher Crossville. You have 2 young children in the car from Burwell PD. The mother of the children has an emergency placement on the kids. She'll come in with the floor.
I'm more the car guy than Leo, so.
Yeah.
What's that on? We find them possibly in the voices. Are they pinging that, or are they just...
You can call Winkless. He knows that I went through all that.
Okay, no, go. Like I said, we're just going to kind of stand by until they get here. So just ask you to sit there for a few minutes. That's all. Good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your patience, sir.
Amidst this, the driver of the SUV pulled up in front of Mr. Miller's truck, and that's when the officer made contact with him. The aim was for the driver to confirm that Mr. Miller was the subject who was seen scratching the SUV, and surely enough, he verified that to be true. He also added that he was 100% certain that the scratch was not there before. It now became obvious that Mr. Miller was the culprit.
Can you just hang out here for 1 second, sir? All right, the gentleman that you just drove by, was that him?
Definitely him, 100%.
Oh, 100%. He said he didn't have the jacket on now. He just had a... Did you see the shirt that he was wearing? I know you're legally colorblind. That's why I was like, I would have you come and look at his face.
Yeah.
So I know you can't see the colors, but as long as you can see the face and you can...
You want me to come out?
No. I'd rather not have you guys...
Come together.
together.
I know it's definitely him. I know he wasn't wearing like a blue shirt or like a dark shirt. It had to have been tannish, but he must... I think he may have taken off the blazer because I definitely had one on, but that's definitely him. That's his face, 100%.
All right, and you're sure that you don't recognize him from anywhere?
I've never seen him in my life. I didn't even know this guy existed until today, to be completely honest with you.
Do you follow politics at all in the state or anything like that? You're not into
I don't even know any of the senators, to be honest. I only know the mayor.
You only know the mayor?
Pretty much. I'm not a big...
Yeah,
so...
All right, no, it's just I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no. I'm not...
And are you sure that the scratch wasn't there before you
parked?
parked?
I'm 100% sure that scratch is not there.
Okay.
I know that scratch wasn't there.
All right. So. Just checking and just trying to see if maybe it was there, maybe it wasn't.
I understand.
That
scratch is definitely not there. Yeah, I understand.
The scratch definitely wasn't there. All right. Well, that's all we need to know for right now. Okay. We're gonna check out the cameras and stuff because this place has really, really good cameras. And then after that, if if we see fit, then we're gonna go from there. All right, and then we'll notify you.
Sounds
guys.
good.
Okay, guys.
Officer.
Absolutely. All right. I'm sorry I had to take you off the dance floor. I'm sorry about that.
You actually made good time. We were downtown Providence.
I know. It was really.
Eventually, the officers decided to let Mr. Miller go home, as they still did not have enough evidence against him to be able to keep him detained. However, the officers did mention that they will be reviewing surveillance footage and likely get back to him soon with regard to the investigation. Mr. Miller provided them with his contact information and left the parking lot shortly after.
Alright, so we're going to let you go at this point. It's still under investigation, like I said. We're waiting to review this footage. We should have access to that tomorrow. And once we do at that point, our detectives are going to probably conduct a further investigation into it. So right now, potentially you're facing, you're being investigated for abandonment at this point. So, but like I said, we're not taking action now until we cover all our bases. So, all right.
You want my phone number?
Please. Yeah. Take all that information.
Here, I'll get my card out of there.
Sure. What do they have over there?
I couldn't even, we can't hear anything at Garden City. Good luck. I just heard because the major passes, he's like, what's the plate number on that again? I'm like, what does he have? We can't hear anything.
Portables don't get anything.
So as soon as I want to go over there, I told Si, I was like, just go over there. I'll stay with him. All right.
Cell's on here.
Your cell's on there as well?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Winkus knows that I have this reaction, right? Because it's happened to me a couple of times.
Okay. That's fine. Yep. So we're not taking any action right now. We're just,
but
we
just
have our.
let him know that
Yes,
it
we
was
will.
me, and
Absolutely.
that was my reaction.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, sir, you have a good
Yeah.
rest of your day,
Thank you.
okay?
Appreciate your help.
No problem.
All right. Take care.
Note that it was almost 6 p.m. when the officers let Mr. Miller go about his day. Following this, they contacted the property's manager, who gave them access to surveillance footage from when the alleged incident occurred. Unsurprisingly, after reviewing the surveillance camera footage of the parking lot, it was concluded that Mr. Miller was indeed guilty of keying the SUV. His actions, which were now conveniently on video, gave the officers enough of a reason to charge and arrest Mr. Miller. So, therefore, the officers decided to drive over to Mr. Miller's address, where they made contact with him and explained the situation too. Note that this was the same night, around 3 hours after Mr. Miller was released from detention back in the parking lot.
There he is.
Hi.
Senator, how are you?
Good.
Good. You got a minute?
Yeah.
We came to talk to you about an incident tonight that occurred in Garden City.
Yeah.
So we have a complainant who wants to pursue charges against you.
Okay.
So we've got to do our due diligence. You know they spoke with you earlier tonight.
Yeah.
We did go back to Garden City. We've got the video of you walking through Garden City, putting your coat over your shoulder, going to Whole Foods, buying your lettuce, putting it in the bag,
I
coming
was
back.
afraid to come back to the car because he said, "Hey, Miller."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got your video. So you tell us how you want to handle this. You keyed his car,
Yeah.
and we can either make a big deal out of this or a little deal. So,
Okay. Whatever you recommend.
well, I want to know what you recommend. I mean, I don't want to be accused of covering up something for a senator.
Sure. Neither do I.
So I think it's best that we all be up front with each other
Yeah.
and do the right thing here.
Yeah. I want to because it's before he even got to it, right? He was saying, "Hey, Miller, what are you going to do?" Right?
Yeah, so I'm
He
going to
knew
be
my
right up
name.
front with you.
Yeah.
He saw your sticker on your truck,
Yeah.
and he ran it, and he saw your picture, and he said, that's the
Yeah.
guy that just keyed my car.
Yeah.
So he was upset, and
Yeah.
I don't know, do you know the guy? Why would you key his car?
I did. Listen. He was threatening
There's a
me
video.
already.
There's
Okay.
a video.
Okay, he was threatening me already. Whatever you want me to do to make it, easiest for you guys and everything.
So we're gonna probably go back and we're gonna go back and get an arrest warrant, right?
Yeah.
But you rather than do that, you can either come to the police station. We can charge you there.
Yeah.
This guy wants to pursue charges. He's upset
Yeah.
that his
Yeah.
car's all keyed. We were gonna do a search warrant and take your keys and stuff like that,
No,
but I
that's
think
right.
you're gonna cooperate.
Yeah.
Why did you key? Do you know that? Did he threaten
He
you?
was already threatening me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what did he? So do you want to give a statement? How did he threaten you? Because we can't hear what's said. We can only
Yeah.
see.
As soon as I opened my door,
Yep.
he started saying, "Hey, Miller, what are you going to do?" Right?
Yep.
He already started on me as soon as I opened my door.
Right. And then
So-
which guy was that? Because there was two guys.
Yeah. I don't know which guy.
All right.
Yeah.
So did he bang your car with the door or something before that, or like why would
No,
you
as
key?
soon as I came out of the car,
You just got mad and keyed his car.
because he was already screaming at me.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this here? If you want to just come to the, we're not going to go do an arrest warrant for you
No.
and roll it out that way. Why don't we just, and it would probably be, it's up to you. You could write a statement saying he threatened,
Yeah.
whatever the case was.
Yeah.
And then, I keyed it out of what? I don't know, anger. I
Yeah.
don't know what your
Because
issue
he
was.
was yelling
with it.
at me.
Did he threaten you at all, or?
I thought he was threatening me based on, just my history with guys like that.
Yeah. What do you mean, like guys like that? Was he the?
I thought he was one of the gun nuts that, you know, stalked me before. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you recognize him or?
No, I thought he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Why don't we do this here? Because it's a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
I think the guy just wants his restitution to get his car fixed.
Sure.
I mean, it's keyed pretty bad. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What did you do with your keys or?
Well, I took my keys out when he started yelling at me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, you got to, there's a lot. I mean, you could see you're between the cars, and
yeah.
I mean, it's obvious that I don't know. I mean, we'll deal with it at the police station.
I felt threatened. That's why I had the keys out. So.
Right, but they're gonna. What's the reason to key the car, though? That's the question.
Because he was daring me to, basically.
Okay. All right. All right. So why don't we do this here? You want to just throw a pair of shoes on, come to the station? We'll
All right.
Bang it out real quick and get you out of there. It's up to
you.
It's a misdemeanor, like I said. It's
As seen in the footage, Mr. Miller was confronted with additional information, including the fact that he was observed next to the SUV on video surveillance cameras. He ended up admitting that he had damaged the SUV because the driver had been yelling at him and dared him to do it. Also, since the driver wished to press charges against Mr. Miller, he was now being placed under arrest.
All right, sir, come on, we're right on here. Just right here is fine, sir. I'm gonna shut this door for you and your wife, and we'll step right out.
I'll let him, if he wants to give a statement.
All right.
I threatened him or whatever when he got there. Let him give that. Add that to the report, okay?
Okay. There you go, sir. I just gotta put these on you.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything.
Why don't you have him drive in?
Yeah.
You want me to drive in?
Drive in.
Okay.
Meet us at the station.
Okay.
All right. Do you have your keys?
Yeah, I did.
Do you have your keys?
No, let him follow us in. That's fine.
If he wants to do that route.
Instead of placing Mr. Miller in handcuffs, just like any other civilian, he was given permission to get inside of his own vehicle and follow the officers to the station, where he'd essentially turn himself in. This was clearly a form of special treatment given to Mr. Miller, since a normal civilian would be handcuffed and secured in the back of a patrol vehicle by now. Ultimately, Mr. Miller was charged with vandalism and malicious injury to property. He was arraigned by a justice of the peace and released on a $1,000 personal recognizance. His next scheduled court date is July 18, 2023, for rearraignment in the 3rd District Court. In a press release published by the Cranston Police Department on June 23, 2023, Colonel Winquist stated that nobody is above the law, including those who make and enforce the laws. The officers who handled this investigation did so with fairness, integrity, and without preferential treatment. I would expect no less from the fine men and women of the Cranston Police Department. The latest update as of the date of this recording comes as Senate candidate Raymond McKay is calling for Mr. Miller to resign. He added in a tweet that everyone should be able to share their political views without being assaulted. Mr. McKay was likely referring to a sticker that was on the rear of the SUV that was keyed, implying that political differences had caused Mr. Miller to do what he did. Be sure to check out our previous video, where we cover another outrageous police encounter.